It's March 13th, 2024, and on this Wednesday, I've got a few college basketball plays for you as we have games all day long, and I sprinkled in a little NBA player prop in there for you as well. Let's dive into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as you just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Yesterday ended our hot streak. We were killing it, like 3, 4, 5 straight winning days here on the channel. We had like a 13-5 streak, and then yesterday 1-2 on the day. And crazy enough, the only bet we hit was our NBA bet, the one that wasn't even that much confident in. We hit the Celtics team total over at 118.5, 119 points. That thing dropped all the way down to 117 by game time. No sweat bet there. We did lose on Miami Hurricanes, just a dismal season for them, losing 10 games down the stretch. I mean, nothing we could really do about that. That team just kind of gave up, threw in the towel pretty early. They just lost a lot with Isaiah Wong leaving. Tough to see that. And then Oakland and Merrimack. Oh man, Merrimack. They made that thing a game. They came back late, but it's just one of those situations where Merrimack is a team that I thought could have upset somebody if they got the right matchup in the NCAA tournament, but they'll never get the opportunity. That's why you got to win your conference games, and it just happened. So 1-2 on the day. You can see our record right here. 21-18 in March. Not the best, but not the worst. We still got a lot of time. We have a ton of tournament games. Probably ramp up the volume a little bit closer to tournament time as well for you guys. But as always, I'm going to be back with more videos. I'm here for the long run, marathon, not a sprint. So if you can, smash that subscribe button and like the video. So this way we can continue to get more people subscribe to the channel and finding our channel in general. We're really trying to boost this algorithm here, get these views up, get more subscribers. So I appreciate all the love and support, and let's dive into these best bets. Not gonna lie to you guys, this first best bet is gonna be a little bit ugly. You know what? I'm gonna give you all the college basketball bets one time. So let's do it with yesterday. We're gonna go to our NBA best bet first, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to Domantas Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds, -110 odds. Now the Kings are taking on the Lakers tonight, and this is the second night of a back-to-back, so that might have you a little bit worried. But for me, I'm not that worried because Sabonis only played about 34 minutes last night because the Kings blew out the Bucks at home. And keep in mind as well, he didn't play the last 5 minutes of that game, so he should be 100% rested, but enough rested to be able to play in this game at full strength. Now he's gone over this total in the last 3 games that he's played the Lakers this season. He got 20 rebounds, and that was just like a week and a half ago. He had 16 rebounds the game before that, and then 15 rebounds the game before that. I think him and Anthony Davis have a really good kind of competitive matchup going on here. I think I read a stat that like Sabonis has won the last several matchups against Anthony Davis or something like that. I don't remember the stat, but Sabonis always seems to show out against AD. Why? Because he has AD's presence by the boards. I mean, it's just that significant. AD's line today, 13.5 as well. So somebody has to be grabbing these rebounds. And with Keegan Murray also out with an ankle injury for the Kings, that's about 5 to 6 rebounds that are also missing there. So I think that should go, 1 or 2 at least should go to Sabonis. He's averaging about 25 rebound opportunities in the last 3 games versus the Lakers, and he's also averaging 13.5 rebounds per game this season. So this is not something unusual. I know it's a high number, but it's a high number that I'm willing to lay because it's at his average. He's also grabbed 15 or more rebounds in 5 of the last 6 games. The only time he did it last night when he grabbed 11 rebounds. Why? Probably because he didn't play the last 5 minutes and because it was a blowout. We have a much tighter spread in this one today, only at a 1.5 line. So that means this one should be competitive. That means this one should be close, and it's the second half of back-to-back. So because of that, I think it's just going to be a tight game down the stretch, which means more rebound opportunities for Sabonis, more minutes, maybe even more missed shots. And the Lakers like to play at a little bit of a faster pace, 6th in the league in pace of play. So for me, I think there should be a lot of opportunities for Sabonis to grab these rebounds tonight against AD. So I know it's a high number, but we're willing to lay it at the value that we're getting at here. So give me Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds is the first best bet of the day. Now we're going to head over to the college basketball slate. Like I mentioned, this pick is ugly. I know you guys might not agree with it because you might not watch any of these teams, but I'll give you a little bit of context here. So we're going to go to the SWAC tonight. And for me, I'm going to take Grambling over Alabama State, -1.5, -110 odds. Now you're probably saying, no, but who are these teams? Well, Grambling is the #1 team in the SWAC. They actually won the regular season SWAC title with a conference record of 14-4. So they're the #1 seed in this tournament. This is not one of those tournaments though where you have like opening rounds and the first seed gets a bye, because there's only 8 teams that make the SWAC tournament. The bottom 4 teams don't make it. So guess who's the 8th seed? Alabama State. Alabama State is the 8th seed against the #1 seed Grambling State, and you're giving me less than a bucket. I mean, you can take the money line at -130 if you want, but the question becomes who's just going to win this game? And the #1 seed versus the #8 seed, I'm taking the #1 seed here. Now Grambling is a good team. Like I said, they finished conference play 14-4. Their only 4 losses: Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Alabama A&M, Texas Southern, which is another team that they could really lose to come, if they meet up in the finals or if they kind of meet up a little bit later on in the tournament, and then Alabama State. But Alabama State was their last game of the season. And guess what? Grambling had already locked up the number 1 seed by then. So Alabama State was also at home. So there was not that much incentive for Grambling to say, like, you know what, let's come out here and get this win. And it was a close game. It was 87-84. That game actually went into overtime. And Grambling did have to fight back by more than double digits in the second half to tie that game and to make it competitive. But again, look at the situation. Last game of the season, you already have the number 1 seed locked up and you're on the road. I don't think the motivation was there. Now you're at a neutral site and you're playing the number 8 seed and they only have you down by a bucket, and this is a 1-bid conference. Grambling, this is your season to get it done. I mean, if they lose to a Southern who's a number 3 seed, or Alcorn State the number 2 seed, Texas Southern who's number 4 seed, then okay, we get it, right? But losing to Alabama State in the first round is not really feasible. And if Grambling did not lose to Alabama State in that last matchup, this is easily a 3.5, 4.5 line. And if it was at that number, then I'd be like, okay, maybe we should wait to grab it live. But again, somebody has to win this game. 1.5 buckets. I mean, yeah, you could lose this bet if they lose by 1 point. If they win by 1 point, but I get that. But for me, I'm just going to take Grambling here. If they beat Alabama State by 6 points on their court earlier in conference play, I really like that. And then Alabama State, they have one of the worst offenses in all of college basketball. 350th in offensive efficiency, 362 in effective field goal percentage, 359 in 3-point percentage, 362 and 2-point percentage. Keep in mind, there's only 363 teams in college basketball. So they're the bottom 15 in all those offensive categories. And when you're playing on a neutral site against a team that can play some defense, that's motivated, that's the number 1 seed, I'm going to go with Grambling State here. Not the nicest of plays, especially when you consider that we have all these big conferences on TV today. But listen, we're going for winners today, and I think Grambling is going to get it done in the swag. For my third best bet of the day, we're going to go with Arkansas and Colgate on the money line parlay, minus 110 odds. Now, I'm going to break down both of these teams real quickly for you, but I want to kind of give you like an idea. If you're not a big fan of these money line parlays, if you take this parlay here, right, Arkansas, Colgate, both on the money line at minus 110, and you're worried about one of these teams losing, let's just say, for instance, Colgate, right, because they're playing the championship game. They're playing the number 5, number 6 seed Lehigh, right? So we saw that yesterday with Wagner and Mary Mack, right? It doesn't mean there's a guaranteed win just because it's a high seed versus a low seed. But if you're worried about that, then what you can do is like put $200 on the parlay, and I'm going to tell you guys how you can get to like plus money on this as well. And then you can do $100 on the underdog, and basically you're playing the middle there. Now you're basically guaranteed to win. Now that obviously means that one of your legs have to hit like Arkansas, but I'm just trying to give you guys like a little strategy that you can use to maybe hedge off of some of these money line parlays where the big underdog is coming out and winning outright, right? Now to break down these teams real quickly, Arkansas is playing in the SEC tournament against Vanderbilt. That tip-off is about 7 p.m. at Bridgestone Arena. I'm not looking into this read too much, okay? Arkansas, not the best team in the conference this year. Only 6-12 in conference play. Really disappointing considering the fact that they beat Duke earlier in the season. They beat Stanford earlier in the season. Like, they have some quality wins this year, but they just weren't able to figure out in conference. Now, they did lose to Vanderbilt at home a few weeks ago, 85-82. But my biggest thing with that loss is, okay, they did lose that game, but this is conference time. This is where Eric Musselman, the coach of Arkansas, thrives. If you guys know anything about Eric Musselman, he is a guy who was built for the tournament. I mean, back from his days in Nevada, he went on deep runs, which allowed him to get to the SEC. And we saw Arkansas make it all the way to the Sweet 16 last year. They made it to the Elite 8 in the 2 years before that. Like, Eric Musselman knows how to bring the best out of his teams come tournament time. I know I said that yesterday about Miami, but that's a little bit different because Arkansas is playing Vanderbilt, okay? Vanderbilt is not good. Only 4-14 in conference play. One of their conference wins were against this Arkansas team, so there's a little bit of a revenge factor there. And yes, I know this is kind of like maybe a home game for Vanderbilt because that's where the conference tournament is played in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. But for me, I think this is just one of those things where Vanderbilt's offense is just not strong enough. 349 in effective field goal percentage, 357 in 3-point percentage, and they don't guard the 3-point line either. 349th on the defensive side guarding the 3-point line. And yes, Arkansas is not the best 3-point shooting team in the league, but what they can do is get to the free throw line, and they can definitely use their athleticism to drive the ball inside, and they like to play fast. So 34th in all the country in terms of tempo and pace. So because of that, I just don't think that this matchup favors Vanderbilt. I think that the Arkansas has the way better coach, which matters come playoff time. I mean, Jared Stackhouse, I don't know what he's really doing over there for Vanderbilt. And like I said, Arkansas, they've got the better players. We saw them take Alabama all the way to overtime on the road in their last game going into conference play, and they beat LSU right before that. So So, I mean, there's some points that from this Arkansas team that gives us hope in this matchup today. Now, if they were playing like a higher seed, like a Kentucky or Tennessee, then that's a little different. But for me, I think that they're going to get it done. Ken Palm has this as a 6-point win for Arkansas, which I agree with. So let me give Arkansas on the money line as the first leg. Now, Colgate, let's go look at this team as they're taking on Lehigh in the championship game of the Patriot League. Now, Lehigh finished off this year 16-2 in conference play. They flew through their first 3 games in conference. Well, Bucknell gave them a little bit of scare, but they came back, won that game impressively. But this game is similar to what was the Merrimack game yesterday. I mean, it came back and burned us, but I'm going to take this handicap as long as we can get it in some of these smaller conferences. And what is that? The higher seed gets the home game in this situation, and this is a home game for Colgate. And this is a Colgate team that has played some decent opponents this year. They played Syracuse. They barely lost that game by 4 points. They played Yale. They did lose that game, but tough game. They played Arizona. They played Illinois. They played Cornell. So they've played some top 100 teams inside Ken Palm, so that prepares them for when they play, again, these tough teams come conference time, or these teams where that are playing with a lot of energy, that are playing with a lot of momentum, like Lehigh is. They were the 6th seed in their tournament, but guess what? Lehigh has made it all the way to the conference championship game by beating Lafayette and then upsetting Boston University at Boston University on the road. So they literally won 2 road games already to now be able to come here to play Colgate in the championship game. But for me, I just can't go with Lehigh here because just their offense is not that strong. 293 in adjusted efficiency. They don't rebound the ball well on the offensive glass, bottom 20 in college basketball. And then keep in mind, guys, Colgate, let me give you guys a little history here. They are this is their league. Like the Patriot League is their league. They've made the tournament the last 3 years in the Patriot League, and they made it in 2019, 2021, 2022, 2023. So guess what? It only makes sense that for them to make it in 2024. They probably would have made it in 2020 if it wasn't for the COVID year. So just keep that in mind, right? Like this is their league year. They've been in this position before. The last time Lehigh made the NCAA tournament, 2012. You know why? Because of a guy named CJ McCollum. That was the year they upset Duke in the first round. I'm not saying, like obviously it's different teams year after year, but this is a team, Colgate, that has seniors, that has juniors, that's used to going to the big dance, that's used to being in the situation and playing a championship game. That matters, as well as with the coaching, come down these situations. Anything can happen, but Colgate's at home. I'm not overthinking it. Take them on the money line, minus 110 odds. If you want to get to plus 100 odds, you can add McNeese State, who should win their championship game tonight in their conference. They're one of the best mid-majors that can upset a big team come NCAA tournament time. So again, keep your eyes on them. And Colorado State, who's playing San Jose State, who absolutely sucked in the Mountain West Conference. But add either of those teams, gets you plus 100 odds. These 2 teams get you minus 110 odds. All right, my friends? So take this parlay. And like I said, if you want to kind of hedge off of it, if you see Arkansas, up way big early and you think like they've got the win in the bag, but the Colgate game is close and you might want to take you might want to take Lehigh on plus the points, right? Like that's the leg that I'm more worried about than the Vanderbilt leg, in all honesty. But hey, you never know what happens, but you can also kind of use some bankroll management to kind of hedge off of some of these parlays that we're throwing out that are losing just by like 1 leg or just by a big underdog upsetting a heavy favorite, and you could still make that plus money value back somewhere else. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are coming your way on this Wednesday card. Give me Sabonis over 13.5 rebounds. Give me Grambling minus 1.5, and then give me Colgate and Arkansas on that money line parlay. For more games and picks I'm dropping throughout the day, especially with these early starts that we're getting, make sure you hit that link, join the free Discord groups. This way we can continue to cash in together. All right, my friends, let's get to that shit. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, gang.